Welcome everyone to Pixel the Prototype. This is Josh, and today I'm going to be looking at trying to resize this model that I made here in Fusion. The reason I'm not doing this in Fusion is because I would have to make it a very specific size in order to redo the pattern over again, because I took the circumference and divided it by whatever amount, I think 6 or something like that, and repeated this pattern and drew it out in that sixth of a pattern. I drew out all these hexagons. So got an idea about how I'm going to do this. So I'm doing this here in Blender. Gonna make a duplicate here just to see a comparison. And I'll actually end up working on this one just because. Let's see here. So what I'm gonna do is, so I want to be able to have this scaled down without having it be unprintable, let's say. So let's do half the size just to start with here. And I still want my walls to be, this is how I measure it out. So I'll go over here and find something. Got proportional editing on. So I'll go and measure it out like this, roughly. Just go and towards the top up here is where it's showing that dimension. So I'm seeing that it's about 1 millimeter. I want it 2 millimeters. So I want this a little bit more printable. And if I can resize each of these hexagons, then I'll do that as well. So I'm going to look at what Fusion did with the geometry here and see if I want to try to simplify this. So I'm just going to see what happens. Highlight everything here in edit mode and do limited dissolve and see if I can get some decent geometry out of it. Like so. It will end up having vertices in odd places a lot of the time. So Shift G, I'm going to try to select similar area. And that got some of it, so I can change the tolerance here to try to get a little bit more of that. So that way, ideally, I have, go into wireframe here, I have only the hexagons highlighted. So that's kind of helpful. So I'm going to see what individual origins will do to this thing. Again, just playing around with this. So I can see that I can resize it. So the thing is will this give me different views of that? I don't know. But I can resize these holes. So the idea would be to make this, see, that's still fairly small. Let's try to grab something in the front here, move it over. Okay, so that's like just over 2 millimeters now. So if I wanted to, I can make those holes quite small. What it's doing to it on the front, you can see here that it's made it suck in as well. So that's not what we want to do. So let's see if I can take care of this challenge here. So there's a few things I can do. So I'm going to unselect that, or undo that, and then I'm going to make a vertex group right here. So I'll name this as well. Hex, assign that. Hopefully my head's not in the way here. That way, I can resize these individually here. So I'm going to try to pull the inside in first. So I'm going to make my C selection tool here, my circle selection tool using C, and just go around the edge real carefully and select everything that's in the middle. And this way I can scale that in. So I'm going to scale using Shift Z. And whenever I'm trying to eyeball this thing, here's what I do normally is I'll get out of edit mode here, make sure I'm in object mode, and I'll pull out a standard cube because it's already 2. And this is if I just want to eyeball this. I mean, this is not engineering here, so we don't need to be very precise. So if I want it roughly 2 millimeters thick, just to have some good thickness to print, I'm going to put that there as a reference. I'm going to go in here and then Shift Z, scale down until it's about there. And if I want to, I can get even closer and just ridiculously close if I want. So scale, Shift Z, and if you want to, you can hold Shift to do some fine adjustments as well. So I'm just going to put that there. So now that I have my thickness, I'm going to check how thick the bottom is as well, because I also want that to be, so that's exactly 1 millimeter right now because I did do 50%. So I'm just going to box select this, grab it, take it down, -1, and I'm going to take that up by 1. So it's going to be a little bit different style box. So we can see our progress so far. So you can see that I'm trying to keep it the same thickness on the top and the bottom, so it has the same mechanical properties, but hopefully I can, of course on a smaller dish like this, it'd be better just to make it again from scratch or make less hexagons or something like this, but this is just for the sake of learning Blender here and learning what you can do with it. So I'm gonna go and select that. So now I have all of that again, and I'm gonna try to see what I can do about unselecting the middle here. So let me make that bigger and unselect just the middle, and let's see if my plan is gonna work here. So I'm gonna do scale, so now it shouldn't be affecting anything else. So I'm already seeing an issue now because I need to unselect these little guys right here. I don't know how those got selected, so I'm gonna do this. So Shift G again, we're gonna get similar links until I select all of those. It is still not selecting them. Alright, well, I'm gonna take that back down then. Make sure it's not selecting anything funny, and I'm gonna dissolve those vertices if it lets me not destroy anything. It's not liking that. Okay, so I like how these are scaling like this. So the issue is it's also making it thinner. Again, this would be easier to just remake the pattern, but I could just do that, but I'm trying to see if I can scale this. So this is going to do some weird things to the geometry right now, which would still be printable. But let's see here. That's not working. Based on normal. They all have crazy normals everywhere. Well, that's actually working. Let's try that again. Pay attention to this. Normals, scale, Z. That's what I don't want. Scale. Of course I have to have this doing weird stuff now. Just gonna have to eyeball that. What's it doing to my mesh? Nothing. Nothing. Okay. That's exactly what I wanted. So that's what I was hoping for. So I'm using the normals instead of the global transformation, and then from the individual point. So that's what I'm hoping for here. So let me go from the front of this again, pick something close to the center axis, just so I can do a quick measurement real quick. And I'm still on normals, so we'll go back to global. And now we're 1.8 millimeter. That's better. Probably don't want to do it smaller than that. So I guess I can upload this as another plate for this in case people want a smaller dish. Thinking I should do something in the middle here now that we have this down. So I'm going to do a, not that it needs to be in the middle, scale 0.75. Which means I'm gonna do this first. Grab that C 1.5. Grab, pull it down, negative 0.5. Did that skew off? Yes, it did. Why did I do that? Oh, I went in some weird direction there. Okay. I'm clicking around here. Alright. Grab Z negative 0.5. Grab G 0.5. Did I not press Z? That's the issue. There we go. 0.5. So now we're going for that 2 millimeter thing again. So we did simplify the geometry before. Limited dissolve. I don't think that's going to help anything. Alright, not mess with that. So I'm going to go with the same face select, Shift G, select area, till everything is selected as so. And where's my little cube? I should have used that as a measurement here. So I'm going to bring that in the center and use that to eyeball it. I guess that's not centered up right there, but that's alright. So I'm going to do that. That way I can kind of eyeball this thing and get it to 2 millimeters. Go to normal, scale, Shift Z, and we'll take that to about right there. As far as I remember, they were supposed to be 2 millimeters, but now I'm kind of questioning that, so. Let me go see. You know what? If these were actually too thin, which they kind of look too thin, grabbing with normals again, grab, yeah, 1.3. So you know what? Even the large model, and it did have a lot of stringing and a little bit of a issue printing. Not that the end result was okay. You know, run it over the fire of the stove, or you know, take a lighter to it, and it takes up some of that. I even kind of sanded in and out just a little bit to take off some of the bumps from the little hairs that were burnt up. So might have to just re-upload this. So I'm going to do the same thing then with this one. Yeah, kind of liking the way that those are looking now anyhow. It is a little thin. Kind of looks more like a wire cage than anything. So let me go to wireframe, X, limited dissolve. Pick one of these faces. Shift, hello, Shift G area. Got all that now. Go back to normals for the transform orientation, individual origin, and scale S, Shift Z. And I'm going to use my same little cube idea here. Where's my cube? Grab. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. And scale, Shift. good enough. So it didn't really change the look of it too much. It's just a little bit thicker now. So I do like that. Yeah. I am liking that. So now we have good thickness throughout all of it. So now they're all printable. Similar, but not the same. So that's kind of the idea. One thing I did forget about. Let me grab that cube. Is I forgot to do the thickness over here. So let's do that real quick. So A for select all. Actually, hold on. You know what? No. Just deselect. Get my circle. And just select that inner ring. And once you see it go orange in the middle, you know you have it all selected. So now I'm going to use regular transforms. Change that back to medium. Median. And what is it doing? Scale. Shift Z. Make sure you hit Shift Z. Take that in. There we go. Thought that was looking a little thin. And now they're all just as thick. Similar pattern. But now we have 3 different sizes that are all just as printable. It will print the same. So I'm curious. I'm going to have to actually print all 3 of these now and see which size dish I like. I did think that this larger one was a little too wide, but after using it for my keys and everything and putting the text in the middle, I actually do like the size. So if you want something to sit on your counter in your entryway or on your coffee table, somewhere to throw your keys, this works great. Or if you want it for more of a candy dish, I would maybe even go with one of the medium ones or even the small ones. Something to put even in a restaurant or whatever you like. I kind of like the design here. If you like this style of design or you want to see some new types of designs or have any sort of questions about Fusion or Blender, you can ask us here, and either me or my mother Debra will be able to get back to you. So thanks for watching, and subscribe if you haven't. And I do have TikTok and MakerWorld, and I'll post the links for each of those down below. So thank you for watching.